The way I approach innovation is looking at these core ingredients, starting by the problem. It should have a high business value, it should be strategic for your organization, and it should also be well-defined and formulated. Innovation, it's about something that do not exist today to solve the problem, so you should be open-minded.
Hi, are you interested in AI and would like to know how to apply it in business? I'm Gosia, and as the host of the AI at Scale podcast by Schneider Electric, I invite AI practitioners and experts to share their experiences, challenges, and AI success stories. Our podcast features real AI solutions and innovations.
Hi, I'm Gosia Gorska, and I'm the host of the Schneider Electric AI at Scale podcast. Today, I have the pleasure to talk with Gosia Peyre. Gosia is a graduate of École Polytechnique with a PhD in computer vision from INRIA. She started her career at Tractable, building AI products and the insurance industry. At Schneider Electric, she has spent over 2 years in the AI Hub, driving the adoption of generative AI and developing solutions for asset management and electrical design. Now she's part of the strategy and innovation team. She focuses on identifying and testing new AI technologies to shape Schneider's future offerings. Passionate about AI, Gosia is committed to exploring its real-world business impact. I'm very excited to have you today, Gosia. Hi.
Hello, Gosia. Thank you for having me today.
So, Gosia, we have founded the AI Hub inside Schneider, so the organization that is focused on implementing AI at scale, at the end of 2021. You have joined 2 years ago. I was wondering what motivated you to join this organization?
Thank you, Gosia, for the question. So, to be honest, at the time I joined, it was in fact more a question of circumstances. So, I moved to Grenoble and I was looking for a new job in industry to solve real-world problems because that's what I like to do. And as you said, it was about the time that the AI Hub was created to support business and function with AI, and Schneider Electric was hiring people like me. So it just looked very much aligned, and I joined at this time as a data scientist. And now it has been, in fact, 2 years. I really like it. And as I get to know more and more the company, it's actually becoming more and more interesting. And I do believe today that Schneider Electric has a key role to play in the energy transition, partly thanks to the electrification. So I'm very, very happy to participate to this.
Yeah, that sounds interesting, really. And what is your current role now in the strategy and innovation team?
Yes, so today, indeed, I'm working in the strategy innovation team in the AI Hub, and our team looks, in fact, in the future. Our team tries to anticipate the AI trends and what it means in terms of opportunity and risk for our business. So I'm a part of the strategy team, but also working very closely with the innovation team. And my role is first to contribute to the identification of strategic topics we should address with AI. And this is across all business unit and function. Then I look at the external ecosystem, to identify the innovative solution we could use with a special focus on startup. And in the last part, when these two first steps are done, I work with the innovation teams to test the ideas in practice together with the partners.
Okay, I see. Among the people that I ask about the future of AI, a lot of them don't like to reply to this kind of question because they say it's so difficult to predict anything. There are new technologies appearing almost every week. There is some announcement. Could you please explain how do you look at innovation? Are you using any crystal ball? How does it work for you?
Yeah, so I have a practical way, in fact, to look at innovation. So if we take a bit of perspective, what is in fact innovation? What does it mean? So there's two ways to look at it. Innovation is first finding new ways to solve a business problem. Or you can also see it as inventing a new usage of a certain tool in the context of our business. So you see, it's about the tools that exist there to solve a business problem. The way I approach innovation is looking at these core ingredients, starting by the problem. So what is the problem you address for your organization? It should have a high business value. It should be strategic for your organization. And it should also be well defined and formulated. And this is done concretely by talking to business unit, data scientists, engineer, your clients to gather multiple perspectives so that you really understand the scope and the challenges precisely. And once this is done, in fact, you look at the tools, the solution out there that you could use to solve this problem. And it's where I recommend, in fact, to almost completely forget about the problem. Have an open mind, not reject tools that might not exactly fit today, because innovation, it's about something that do not exist today to solve the problem. So you should be open-minded. We have a team of creative people that are used to have this mindset. And the last component is once we have this problem, the tools, you have to put them together and test whether it's working or not. So here it's more about like project management with a high uncertainty project. So it's both about giving flexibility to your team so that they have time to iterate. But on the other hand, you don't want to spend 12 months working on something impossible. So you have to also be clear on, the definition of done, and you need to know when it's time also to move on and maybe re-explore later.
So in a sense, it's better to fail fast and move to another solution, solution that you test.
Yeah, I would say so. Even if you have to give you also the time to innovate. So it's a bit paradoxal.
Yeah, and I know that in your role, you also evaluate existing technologies. So what would you say is the proper balance between creating our own AI solutions in the company versus buying those solutions that already exist in the market?
So I really like this question because my opinion on this, it changed a lot recently. If you asked me this 1 or 2 years ago, I would have said just build the tool, because with open source tool, you can just build the solution yourself. It was obviously because I'm from a data scientist background. Today, I still think that open source is a great asset, but the make versus buy decision matrix is a bit more complex. And the way I like to look at it is, in fact, through an analogy. So allow me to do this analogy with you. So let's say you have bought a piece of land and you want to build a house. Okay. So the question is, what do you make yourself versus what do you make someone else do? So Gosia, small exercise for you. What would you do yourself on this piece of land to buy your house?
Oh my God. I would select the plan of the house, but I would construct it with a company that does it professionally. And then I would probably decorate it myself. I wouldn't like to use a decoration company to do this.
Yeah, I love your answer, Gosia. So it's true that there's some elements, in fact, you want to buy to make built by other people. So, for example, the foundation of your house, you want something solid, reliable, that you are confident you can build on. So, and it's the same for our AI platform in the AI Hub. It should be reliable. We need to be able to trust it. So it's a buy, and we are indeed buying it to cloud service provider. Now, maybe there are some elements like the electricity of your house, for example. It's a question of security. So if it's done wrong, it can really be lethal. So personally, I'm not an electricity expert. I'm not certified for this. So, and even if I want to sell my house later, I need to have some kind of certificate conformity so that new customer can trust the system. And in the hub, it's the same. You can think of electricity as the data, and the wires that transport this electricity as data pipeline, which can be subject to cybersecurity attack. So if this occurs, you lose clients. So again, it's a buy, I would say, in this case. You have to go with partner which have expertise, a track record, and can provide strong guarantees. And we are using a partner like Databricks, for example, on the data layer to do this kind of thing. And now coming to the decoration part, you said, I want to do it myself. That's an interesting question. You want to do it yourself because maybe you have some tools that can help you do this. So it's feasible. It starts to be feasible for you to do it. There's not much security involved. Myself, I would do it. I recently bought some steam machine to remove the wallpapers and starting the decoration. So with the right tool, with the learning on YouTube tutorial, for example, you could build it. But we can also say that removing wallpapers, it's not so fun. So you can also decide for a question of cost, of time, and because it's just not fun, you can decide to outsource it. Okay. But on certain thing, like if you want, let's say, to decorate your child room with stars on the ceiling, now maybe it's where in fact there's some customization involved. It's a creative task. You directly please your child. So now it might start to be a make, right? Because you want also this specific control on where you put the stars. You want also to know the recipe that you use to maybe change the star location in the future. And it's quite a lot of fun. So again, here you can see that when you have this more added value, this creative task, it can be a make. So to conclude on this part, there are multiple factors involved. It's about expertise. It's about what your technical team can do. In fact, it's about the cost. It's about the time, the risks that you take, how much customization you want, how much added value you can bring yourself, and also how you envision the future development of your products. And today in the AI Hub, we make this decision use case by use case. And what is important is to remind these different factors.
Yes, indeed. In the end, it's really a matter of making good choices and evaluating, do I have enough of expertise, like especially the field, the domain expertise? Do I have enough of the technical background to build something myself versus can I work with trusted partner and I can use some of the solutions that are already existing? So it's always a decision making process. And I was wondering, Julia, because we have in today's landscape in most of the countries, we have very vibrant startup landscape. And I know that they reach out to us, they are presenting their new technologies, their innovations. And I was wondering, in your job, is it more common that you are making a proactive review in which you are looking for some very specific solution and you want to see if it's already existing on the market? Or is it more often that actually there are so many startups, there are so many companies out there that they are presenting to us these solutions?
Yeah, so it's a good question, and we can come back to this definition of innovation that we gave earlier. So either you start indeed from the problem to you go to the solution, and this is what we can call the top-down approach, or you start from the solution and you imagine new usage. To be honest, today we base our planning on the top-down approach. So we'll decide, for example, that each year we will address, I don't know, 4 different problems that we identified as most strategic and critical to us. And each quarter we can start an exploration on one of these problems. So concretely, this quarter, for example, we're interested about tackling the challenge of lack of data for quality control. So we are looking, as you said, proactively at the different tools and partners in the ecosystem to address this challenge. So we look at large vision models, we look at synthetic image generation tool, we look at advanced anomaly detection technique. We scout different partners for this, and we decide to do a test with few of them, compare the solution so that we are able to advise which technique we should use and also recommend partner. You see that's the first approach, but we might also miss interesting tools in the market that could help us unlock new opportunity because the AI field is moving very fast. Schneider Electric is also a big company with lots of different products, and it's hard to keep up with everything. So we also do bottom up. We also need to do bottom up. We need to stay very open to new tools, welcoming this new solution, even if it's not in our prioritized list. AI startup relevant to our business, things they can help us bring a solution to solve one of our problem. We are happy they contact us, they pitch to us, and if we see an opportunity together with relevant business units, we can open a new exploration.
And what are the different types of corporations? So what happens next? Is it more common that you work with large corporations or indeed with startups?
This is a good question. So I would say think of cooperation as a relationship, and you make your relationship what you want to be. All right. The first question you should ask yourself is, what do I want? What is my purpose with the cooperation? Is it that I want to buy a tool? And in this case, I might just look for buying a license. Or do you want to learn, gain expertise? And so in this case, it would be a cooperation where you have some regular conversation with technical team, for example. Or do you want to quickly test an idea? Or do you want, on the other end, to have a long-term cooperation where you work together to solve a hard problem? So that's, you need to be clear on what do you want first. And then the second thing is you need to ask yourself, who is this company you are talking to? What do you find differentiating about it? What is the strength, the weakness, compare also to our strength and weakness. Yeah, trying to understand if you enter in cooperation with this company, what would it really bring to you with respect to your objective? Is it, for example, that you have the problem, you have the data, and they have the expertise to solve this? Or maybe it can be they have the ideas and you have the data. Is it kind of helping you? So with all these questions, so what do you want with this company? You can first confirm whether you are looking at the right partner or not. And also you can understand how you want to cooperate with them. So now we'll give you a few examples in the AI Hub of different company we are working with. So we are working with big company, as you said, more for technological partnership. So basically we buy tools that are pre-built and that we can customize easily. So it's a kind of self-service we support. So for example, with we will partner with Amazon to use Bedrock or Microsoft to use their Azure platform, OpenAI Azure platform. That's the first way we can collaborate with big technology company. But technology company today have also the best innovation team. They have a pool of high-skilled engineers that are extremely efficient at the forefront of latest technology, and they are able to engage also with us to solve hard business projects. Okay, and so it's called innovation partnership, and we work together also to co-develop a solution. And that's actually what we did last year with Microsoft to build a solution for code generation for our automation engineers. So you see, even with big company, there are different kind of partnership. Now we work also with smaller company, startups, because a large part of innovation today occurs in startup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and so here you might have heard about our collaboration with Mistral. So we want to understand that how we can use their model and our different use case, in particular to improve efficiency. And so we're actually parts of the early tester of Mistral Large earlier this year and continuing the conversation. So you see there's quite a lot of a possibility, both with big tech, startups. You can also think of consulting as another way to cooperate. So if you want to quickly test an idea and you don't have the technical resources, for example, you can also think of academic partnership. We are also doing this in our team. So wide range of cooperation, but what is important is to remind the two questions: what do you want, and what is the partner in front of you offering?
Yeah, I think it's a quite important message because In the past episodes of our podcast, we were inviting people from different businesses and also different internal functions of Schneider. And they were describing really a variety of AI solutions that we develop inside the company. But what you are saying is equally important, is that this is such a vibrant and moving space that you have to have this relationship. You have to be aware of what's happening on the market. And there are some solutions that we really appreciate building on and customizing then ourselves. But you need to have these technology partners around you.
Exactly.
And the next phase then, once you have selected a potential partner, is to evaluate a solution. And I would be really curious to know, how do you evaluate, how do you test new AI technologies?
Broadly speaking, to test new AI technology, you can consider three main criteria. And you will test these criteria all along the process, right? So first, it's about the team, then it's about the technology, the solution, and finally, it's all the question of integration. About the team, the company, you want to understand whether this company is serious, trustable. So who they are, how many are there, do they have some track records, how long have they been around. It's about also how you feel about them, what are their value, are their value aligned to our value, do they communicate transparently? Because cooperation, it's about first communication, a good communication. And then a bit of financial. So are they backed by a trusted investor? Do they have enough money for next few months, years, hopefully? Or do they even make their own money today? And this is important, and this financial question, because you want to make sure the startup won't be out of business tomorrow. You want a long-term relationship that is supported by this. It actually remind me, it's important question because my first job in a startup after my PhD, it lasted only 3 weeks. Yeah, the startup went out of money. And when I was out of my PhD, I just didn't ask enough question about the financial. I was just excited by the project, the vision. So I guess that's a lesson. We don't want this to happen. We are happy also to consider early stage startup, but we need a bit of visibility to work together. So that was, I done another startup just after this one, but Schneider Electric, it's more stable, let's say. So that's about the company. And after this, it's about evaluating the technological solution. So from technical point of view, so usually it starts even when the startup does a demo to you. You can also ask a bit more technical documents. Do they have some papers, patents? You can look at this. But the core of the test will be done through a proof of concept on one of our use case. It should be on one of our use case because you need to be real, solution can work on toy data and not work at all in a realistic setup. So here, what I would advise, in fact, it's really being mindful of picking the right use case and metrics. It's about being clear on what you want to test, especially how you will compare, what you will compare the solution to, like basically what is your baseline. Because if you don't do this preparation well enough, what will happen is that the proof of concept will just work. It will be a success, but it's not necessarily because the solution is good. It's because the evaluation is weak. It's not good for you. It's not good for the startup, because if it fails in production, you have to redo everything again. So be really rigorous in this proof of concept, the metric, the baseline. And this is something, when you're a bit new to AI, you don't realize how much important it is. So we've talked about the company, the technology, and last part, it's about the integration. How will the solution be integrated in your workflow after the technical proof of concept is validated? Will it scale well? How much will it cost? Will it be compliant with your data and cybersecurity policy? So All of these questions for innovation, partnership, we look at them, but it's not the core of the test we are doing, but we have to look at them as well, because the end goal is, of course, to integrate the solution in our product at scale.
Yeah, I think that's a great advice. And I'm looking at the clock, and actually we are running out of time, but I still wanted to ask you last question. What do you think is important to make these partnerships and cooperation successful?
There are a few elements that we already discussed here. So for me, a successful partnership is one where the relationship lasts, and together we have solved a business problem that we integrate into our products at scale. So for the relationship aspect, it's really important to be clear about the objective of the collaboration, always thinking of a win-win for each party. Your partner's success is your success. On an innovation partnership, I think that's especially important because maybe the partner won't have a solution for you today, but they might have tomorrow. So it's important to build this relationship. That's for relationship. And now for more like the success of integrating a solution into your product at scale. What I found important is to work ahead with the business units, all the engineering team, the data risk team, the procurement, all these different teams that will help the integration to succeed. And that's especially important if, like me, you are in an innovation team that is a bit transversal, not incorporated into a business unit.
I see. And I really like what you said about our success will be our partner's success, and I think we can finish with this for today. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciated all the insights, and I hope that our audience also find them very insightful. Thank you, Julia.
Thank you, Gosia, for having me here. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for joining us today on AI at Scale podcast. Be sure to visit our se.com/AI website and learn more about our AI at Scale solutions. Head over to our Schneider blog platform to read more. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on your preferred platform and share it with your network. Thank you for listening and stay tuned for the next episode.